and then gradually you start to integrate it and become it, so that the reflex action of what are the consequences for me of doing this? Oh my goodness, they start to fade. And the question is not what are the consequences for me of doing what I believe to be right. It's what is the right thing to do? End of story. Consequences, forget it. What is the right thing to do? Because if you don't do the right thing, then what are you doing? You're not doing the right thing. So, as you believe. So this is the point of real freedom, where fear of consequences for doing what you know to be right start to fade. And the more people that do this, it becomes more and more holes in the dike, and the dike eventually collapses, because, we are holding this together. We're holding this together. And I would say this to people, people look at pyramids, and when you say where's the power in the pyramid, they look to the top instinctively. That's not where the power is. The power is in the base of the pyramid, the mass of the pyramid that's holding the top, the capstone up there. We need to stop doing that, and the whole thing collapses. This control system is a house of cards. It's held together by the human collective mind, believing a certain sense of reality about self and the world, and when we change that reality, bang, the whole thing collapses, and we build a world based on the true nature of who we are, and not the illusory, limited, manipulated nature, which is what the world is that we're seeing manifest every day.
What is the name, David Icke, of that doctor that was a holographic blood? Excuse me. What was his name?
Dr. Harvey Biggleton, mate. Harvey Biggleton. If people go to my website, davidicke.com,
okay,
and they go to the right-hand column and scroll down, they'll find a link to him and a book.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to him, but I've been thinking with all this new talk now, of course, been for many years, David Icke, about Codex and the powers that be wanting to take away some nutrient supplements, and now I think John McCain has introduced a secret kind of a part of one bill wanting to get things moving more quickly in the United States.
John McCain, I'm shocked.
I'm
Patrick.
shocked, yes.
I reel back in amazement.
But then I've always felt like, from my perspective as soul, that there's always a way, and in the last few months I've been thinking, well, maybe Patrick has been going about this maybe a little bit, trying to put too much energy and too much power into these things other than self to get myself really well. So I would suspect then that we have the infinite power as soul to tell our body and our blood and our cells to do whatever it needs to do for us to stay in this body as long as we need to, or to get rid of bacteria or viruses or whatever.
Well, you are absolutely right, and this is the next stage we need to move into. I mean, you've only got to look at the placebo effect to see the power of the mind over the body. I mean, you look at the placebo research around the world, and it's extraordinary. I mean, during the 1960s, they were doing placebo experiments with LSD, and some people who'd been given the placebo went out on LSD trips. And it was. It was told to me over 5 hours in a Brazilian rainforest in 2003 by this very, very powerful female voice that was talking to me after I'd taken ayahuasca and in the rainforest. And for 5 hours, this very powerful and loud female voice, and it was hilarious, by the way. I mean, what a sense of humor, was explaining to me the illusory nature of reality. And one of the things his voice said, Patrick, at one point was, do you think it's ayahuasca that's brought you to this place, this state of awareness where I was interacting with this voice? Illusion. And when I came back to England and started following up what I was told, and found it absolutely panned out with 5 sense research, if you like, I came across all this research of these studies where people have been given psychoactive drugs, but they weren't, they were placebos, and they went off on trips. And I thought, wow, I can understand what that voice was saying now. This is what happens. So the power of the mind manifests again, we're back. What we believe, we perceive. And when you understand that connection, as these manipulating families and the rest of that network does, then what's happening to humanity, Patrick, 24/7, is our perception is being manipulated to create, through this process, of self-manifestation, what we believe we perceive, so that our perception is being manipulated. And once you take back the power of your perception and you deprogram your sense of perception, what you do is you just get a blank sheet of paper and say, hold on a minute, I'm going to start again, no preconceived ideas. What is a preconceived idea? It is a perception which becomes your experience. And so no preconceived ideas, blank sheet of paper. I'm going to just look at this dispassionately, and I'm not going to edit anything. I'm not going to censor anything. I'm going to let this go where it goes in terms of information and all the rest of it, and we'll see if it stands up. You take control. It's like when something massive happens, like Haiti. Instead of just the perception is there's been an earthquake and all the rest of it, and then rescuers go in and all the rest of it. But when you take control of your perception back and you say, hold on a second, never mind what Fox News is telling me, never mind what CBS is telling me, never mind what Hillary Clinton is telling me in a photo opportunity that shut down an airport for 3 hours that was supposed to be supplying humanitarian aid to these desperate people. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at the background, and I'm going to see what I feel really happened. And then you take control of your perception back, and then you take control of your mind back. You start to deprogram it. You're not buying the program anymore. You're going to do your own research. You're going to come to your own conclusions based on what you think and not what someone's told you to think. Now, that's just one example, but I guess the great spectrum of human life and human experience, when we take our sense of perception back, we take our sense of experience back, we take our power back, and this opens the floodgates to endless possibility, including, as we've been talking about here, using the mind to heal the body, because body-mind are expressions of each other. So why can't the mind heal the body? Of course it can. Consciousness can do it even more powerfully. To do this, and you know, I said actually, Patrick, in one or two of my books a little time ago, that what we call alternative healing is a stepping stone. It's not the end.
Uh-huh. Yes.
It's the stepping stone from scalpel and drug healing, healing, look at that word again, scalpel and drug medicine, through to the alternative areas which start to look at the body and mind in a different way. That it's a stepping stone. Where we're going is where we don't need that stuff, because we're in control of our own reality so much that we're in control of our own health.
So it's real. It's just a fine line, but a miraculous line. Are you saying, David Icke, then? I've seen something out there that looks real and looks like whatever Haiti or the powers that be or whatever, you know, they're doing. And they're seeing that for what it is, but knowing that it is other than ourselves, and it has no real power over us unless we give it power.
Yeah, the big thing that the control system is trying to do, Patrick, is get us to react.
To react.
Now,
yes.
To react, emotionally react. The whole system's about that. I mean, we have a part of the brain called the reptilian brain, and the reptilian brain is a reaction system. It's part of the so-called survival system, so they tell us. And you know, when you are driving along the road and someone walks out in front of your car and you smack the brakes on in an instant without thinking, that's the reptilian brain reacting. That's what it does. It doesn't think. It's stupid. It just reacts. But if you drop into that survival mechanism through the reptilian brain as a part of everyday life, then that reaction system starts to control your life, starts to control your reality and your perception of reality, because the reptilian brain just doesn't see physical danger and react to it. it sees danger to your survival all over the place. For instance, financial survival. When people are worried, oh, am I going to make the rent at the end of the month? Oh my goodness, what about my mortgage? That's the reptilian brain. Oh, am I going to survive? Am I going to survive? And it's the same when you're in a relationship. Oh God, is my girl going to walk away? Is my relationship going to survive? And when you look at the way that the system operates in terms of manipulating humanity en masse, it's all about getting us into states where we fear surviving. This is what the whole 9/11 war on terror is about. Yeah. This is what climate change is about. A load of bloody nonsense, by the way, and that's unraveling more and more now. But it's all about getting us into this survival reaction because, like I said earlier, with the example of the